Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we'll cover my spring campaign on Pasture Woods. This is a fishery that I used to go to for a few runs, but I decided to do a serious campaign on the canal for the early spring and the main lake once it got into April and May. This video will include fishing with solid bags, fishing pressured day ticket waters for pressured carp. My first couple of sessions on the canal were in early to mid-March, and these two sessions could not gone more to plan.
Collecting names of the lovers that went home. I'm going to steal the moon.
After having such good success on the canal, I decided to try my luck on the main, an 8-acre brick pit. Using solid bags, I started hauling on an overnight session.
He's flying.
After such a productive night, the mood was high, but little did I know that the best was yet to come.
Absolute fucking beast. That's massive. I knew it was a big one.
The fish was the lake's big mirror, and it weighed 27 pounds and 8 ounces. This was the fish that spurred me on to do a proper campaign here, as there is only one bigger, a common in excess of 30 pounds, which I would really love to add to my photo album. In preparation for my next session, I tied up lead core leaders and I tied up rigs. The rigs that I tied up here are not the rigs I actually used on the session due to the venue having a ban on braid. Instead of using the supernatural braid I would usually use with my solid bag fishing, I use zig line as it is a nice supple mono that can be put inside the bag and it works well. I just didn't manage to get any footage of me tying them, so here's some footage of me tying the braided ones. Because the swim I wanted to be in was taken, I fished in a different swim on the opposite side of the lake. I fired a leading rod out into the middle of the lake and found a clear area quite quickly. Clipped up all 3 rods at this distance, put them out, all 3 on solid bags, and the first bite didn't take too long.
It goes way back like ancient artifacts, synchronized heartbeats that create tracks. Never, nah, never, I ain't going back. Alone ain't a home and I'm not down with that. Tensions rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Work builds life, ain't exactly how we planned it. Gravity's the force, I'll align the planets. With you in my system, surely I can manage. Courage is lost.
The fish gave off a very good fight, weeding me up in one of the various weed beds that have grown up on the lake recently due to the warmer weather. But after all, I did manage to get the fish into the net, and what a lovely fish it was.
Funny if you think I'm not hurting, was it worth it? One day I'll let you know, when hell freezes over and I let my soul go.
Well, £19, and honestly, what am I going to say? Long, give a read battle. Yeah, have a nice one. Let's just do the other side. This is the side. It's all correct. Bit snub nose, like not nice in the mouth, but
Unlike last time, the night passed very quietly, but I awoke to a beautiful sunset and steam coming off the lake. A few bream had woken me up during the night, one going over 10 pounds, which was a new personal best bream for me. But I decided to move, and after moving, it started to pay off. That scale of perfect common was another high double figure fish, just above average size for the water. On the small lake though, I managed to get some fish feeding on dog biscuits in the pads. Here's some of the footage of these fish very confidently feeding on the surface, which is a rare sight of this lake especially, as they're normally quite shy and spooky. The main lake was full on this weekend, so I had to go on the canal. After getting the rods out pretty quickly, the first bites really didn't take all that long to come.
We chase each other till we lose our heads, going round and round. We run around in circles, spiraling into the abyss. This is it, there's no light inside the tunnel. We did things, words were said, we're in pain. In the end, it hurt me to hurt you. So let's get this trauma out the way. We chase each other till we lose our heads, going round and round. We run around in circles, spiraling into the abyss. This is it, there's no light inside the tunnel. We did things, words were said, we're in pain. In the end, it hurt me.
Fish seemed to like this very weirdy area during the day, but moved out during the night, as none of my traps were sprung. Come morning, I redid the rods, put fresh solid bags on. This was a good decision, as the first bites soon came. After the morning bites, I got the float rod out and then began to start steadily taking the fish off the top.
Was it all you wanted? Don't run. Was it ever gonna make it harder to love? Were you ever gonna tell her after you broke everything you ever held inside? I know it was always gonna be that way.
Fishing the floaters was very successful, but unfortunately I did suffer a couple of hook pulls just after hooking the fish, like shown here. So in the evening I put the bottom bait rods back out and waited for a bite. I put some food on and the bites soon came.
If you think it's justified, you were always gonna let her down. You do it over again. You pay the worst.
The night again was very quiet, and I woke up to the sound of commotion down the bank in the weed. The fish were splashing around, spawning, which wasn't surprising due to the groups that were swimming in the day before. So I decided to move on to one of the smaller lakes on the complex, as they weren't spawning on there.
Was it all you wanted? Don't run. Was it ever gonna make it harder to love? Were you ever gonna tell her after you broke?
Just using one rod, I flicked a little solid bag out to the pads, and it really did not take long at all to get the first bite.
No hold, one touch to free me from falling down on my from falling down on my one touch to open, one touch to close, one touch to show me no all minds are cold. One touch to loosen the hold. One touch to free me. No shadow, darkness, I am falling no more. I never felt like this before. No shadow, darkness, I am falling no more. I never felt like this before. I never felt like this before. I never felt like this before. I never felt like this before.
It's one of the big air ones.
And that fish concluded my spring campaign on Pastures. The fish had started spawning on one of the lakes, and I couldn't really fish any others relatively soon, as well as the big common coming out that weekend off the main. So I decided to pull off and move on to another venue for the summer season. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.